everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Neil and Cara out here continuing on with our new series on kind of reacclimating with the Mantis X10. Today we're going to do some live bench work.
Benchmark.
Well, benchmark work. Yeah, I should have said that betterly. But I should have said that betterly. I don't have the words.
Words are tough today.
Yeah, words are not my forte. So anyway, just want to welcome everybody back here. We're going to just get to this right away. If you didn't watch last week's video where we actually introduced the benchmark and did it dry, we'll put a link in the description. You can go watch that. But we're going to do it live today just to see what the difference is. I know a lot of times folks are like, well, my dry fire and my live fire are significantly different when I measure on the Mantis. And I think that's a grip issue. We're going to find out. We're going to find out that it is a grip issue if mine is a way significantly lower. But just a few minutes ago, I shot it dry and did like a 94.3. So let's see what I can do live.
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
Let's get our eyes and ears on. We got a target right here. I'm just going to basically turn to the side here. You can shoot this at whatever distance you want when you do it live. It doesn't matter because it does not care what the target looks like. What it is, the Mantis unit is doing is looking at what are you doing with the gun? What's going on right here in front of you, not downrange. I think very often we're very focused on the result of what the target looks like, and ultimately that's the important thing, especially if you're in a self-defense scenario or if you're in competition. You want to get holes where you want the holes, right? However, you get the holes where you want the holes by doing everything right up here. And so that's what we're measuring today. So let's see what happens, all right?
Okay, and just say I'm going to switch it to live in the app, so now it knows we are live fire.
Perfect, okay. That's new, right? That wasn't always there.
No, that's been there for quite a while.
Has it really?
Quite a while.
I always went in and changed it the other way. So, all right, and I haven't done this for a while, so.
You're up.
All right, so I've got 10 in the gun, and I'm live. There's no holster stuff. There's no time on this. It's your 10 best shots at your pace. So here we go.
92. 92. 92. 93. 91. 94. 93. 90. 91. 95.
Oh, and then I dropped the thing to boot. Okay, so I am done. Now, one of the coolest things, I should have probably showed you this. I've got it mounted on the rail, or the mag rail on the bottom of the mag. So that's also in the settings, right? So
it is.
So when Cara shoots now, she's just going to take this mag, right?
I'm gonna put it on my Picatinny rail.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool. So I ended up with a 92.7. 2 points lower than I did. I kind of shot that pretty quick. I can walk you down there and show you the target. There is one nice big.
He's on the upper right.
Yeah, so we'll show at the end.
So he's going to pull the Mantis unit off. I'm still going to mount it on the bottom of my pistol, and it's going to be mounted forward. So I don't have to change any settings.
Oh, okay.
Because it's still mounted in the same direction. Your gun moves the same here or here.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so you are up. So we want to just reset.
Done. Done, up at the top.
Got it.
And just hit reset. There we go, and start.
There you go. There is that. Okay, Cara is gonna load and make ready, and she's just gonna shoot her 10 best shots.
83. 89. 98. 93. 96. 93. 99. 83. 93. 97.
Woo! Well done, Cara. So Cara came in with a 92.7. I feel like I heard a 99. It's saying them out loud, but with my hearing protection and her shooting, I couldn't hear all of them. But was there a 99?
I had a 99.3.
Yeah. So well done. Now, so what's your typical average dry fire?
Probably 94 to 95.
Okay, so you're right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
So, you know, I think we're gonna expect it to be a hair lower just
Yeah.
because, one, we haven't been shooting a lot lately, but we're real close. It's not the 10 points that everybody talked about, you know, 5 years ago when we first started doing this, or 7 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But initially we thought, well, it's just because we're live fire, but really what it is it's our grip. That's why we do the dry fire, so we can shoot better in live. And even with a 10-point difference, even if people were seeing 80s, that was still better than the 60s that they were before. So, so this is an amazing tool, but I think we should have some more people shoot. We've got some additional people on. We're teaching a class this week in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I've got some help with me this week with the range monkey, who you guys haven't seen for a while, and I'm going to rope her into shooting. And then the impressive Mr. Chris Bean is here. We're going to make him shoot too. So come on up. Okay, so while Natalie's getting her ears on, this is her PX4 Storm. It's mounted, the unit is mounted here up front. Now, one thing that you're going to see is with a system set up like this, you're not going to be able to get it in your holster. So when you saw me doing it, I have the mag rail adapter. You can get a mag rail adapter for a whole boatload of different guns, and then there's a universal one as well. So you can do your holster work here, but because what we're doing right now is the benchmark, we don't have to worry about the holster. So that's why we can get everybody to shoot right now. So
98. 94. 97.
nice. You can take a break in this too. There is no time on this.
Oh yeah, taking a break is cool.
85. 92. 97. 92. 92.
I got 2 more left.
I think 2 left, yeah. I don't know, like I was counting, come on.
88. 97.
There you go. So go ahead and let's just unload and show clear before we take that off. There you go. Now you can take it off. The big thing is don't take that on and off with a loaded gun, because you just don't want your fingers in front of that muzzle. And she didn't point the gun at herself at all, but just to be on the safe side, we unload and show clear first. So there you go. All right, Natalie, how'd you do? Go ahead and holster up. All right, Natalie, I think just took the lead with a 93.5 in 58 seconds. You took a little bit more time than we did. Maybe there's a hint there, but just under a minute worth of shooting, and got a 93.5 here. If I hit done, let's see here. First shot was a 98, then a 94, 97, dropped into 80s because you suck like your dad. And then, and then I messed something up. So you guys got to see it. We'll get that fixed. Oh, there we go. We're recalibrating because we changed it over to another gun here. So, but no, Natalie shot. That's nice shooting, kid. You haven't been shooting a lot lately either, have you?
Down.
Yeah.
That's my secret.
I don't know if they can hear you, so you have to stand really close. So you
Turn your ears down. Don't let other people get into your head while you're shooting.
Nice shooting, kid. All right, so now we're gonna have Chris Bean come up and do this thing, so he can get a feel for how this works and can show us how it's done. So,
Hi.
hey, all right. So if you don't know Chris Bean, you should. He's on the channel a fair amount, and he is one of the best shooters I know. So this should be fun. Have you done one of these lately?
Not in a bit.
So, all right, well, cool. You get the top left square.
All right, and I'm going to run your gun?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello.
So one thing that I heard Cara talking about that I find pretty interesting is it's measuring the trigger press and movement of the gun.
Yep.
It's not measuring point of aim. It's not measuring point of impact. So everyone else was doing 1-inch squares. I'm going to move it around.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just kind of see
Yeah,
what
it
that
doesn't.
looks like.
Yeah, you're right, because it doesn't matter what you're doing on the target. We were just shooting 1-inch squares to have fun
so
with it.
I thought that was kind of interesting to kind of see. Okay, is there really a difference?
All right, well, I'm gonna hit start here. Ready to go.
All right, so
94, 97, 85, 79, 84, 91, 95, 92, 84, 90.
All right.
1 second. Let me go ahead and clear. All right. You want it?
I have
No,
the
I got
gun. All right, so Chris comes in with an 89, but he shot it in 20 seconds. So he shot that thing fairly quickly. We're gonna bring the camera around and show you the targets here in just a minute so you can see it, because everybody likes to see where the targets went. But Chris was shooting, you know, here's something that's cool. Cara, come talk to me about this for just a minute. So what we see here is, what's this blue line?
So that is his aim movement. Well, and why you see that is once you show the target, Chris was not shooting a 1-inch square like the rest of us were. He was shooting head box, body box, and rotating. So you're going to see more movement in that blue line because his aiming movement was more exaggerated moving targets.
Yep, and so what we see is, and you guys are seeing this on the screen, what we're looking at, but we see some pretty long blue lines, but those don't really affect the score.
Not really,
because
no.
it's what's happened right as he stopped. So he was mostly coming up and down, and so he was shooting from the A zone to the head box. So you see that longer blue line, but we still see some, you know, some 90s, 95, 91, 97s. Now there were a couple of that got a little bit lower there, got a 79 there, but that one was your number 4 shot, and I called that one. I saw you went down, and then you moved down just a little more as you pulled the trigger, and that, so you can see that. So if we go to
Tap it, yep.
and
Exactly.
so you can see what happened here. Here's, actually, yeah,
He was coming from the body up to the head, I
yeah,
think.
that's what it was. And so he moved around and then dropped it a little bit to drop it in. So nice shooting.
No, what I think is really interesting about that, especially trying to do it from differing targets, what the dwell time for the actual trigger press or pre-trigger press, do you know what?
I do not know the actual pre-dwell time. That is also configurable because if you're a bullseye shooter, like long-range rifle, you can turn that dwell time on to be like 2 seconds.
Well, that's
it's
what
crazy,
I
but that
find-
is not 2 seconds.
And what I find really interesting about that, so if you're moving between varying targets, your ability to stabilize the gun
is harder.
Before or during the
Yeah.
trigger press, right?
Yep.
That gives you information to figure that out, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this might be, we should have all done that just to see what we can see. But
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's the same thing because now we have multiple methods. So if you're in a truly stable position and you're just hammering it down, how good can you, or how well can you stay stable over time?
Right. Yep.
And then you have the other end of the spectrum is, can you stabilize under some sort of rudimentary movement,
Right.
which
Yep.
is cool.
And you know, and ultimately, the kind of the initial point that we started with was, can you shoot the same in live as you can in dry? And in dry, I pressed out there and was seeing everything and took my time and took about a minute to shoot those rounds. In dry or in live, I did a very similar thing. I really like the idea of the movement, adding that movement back and forth just to see, can I stabilize and go? And what you saw, you still shot an 89 and change, so that's a 90. That's completely acceptable.
See, now I'm a nerd, right? But I get to thinking like testing your different trigger presses.
Yeah.
So if your normal precise trigger press yields you X, okay, now we can slap the trigger and see how much movement is happening in the gun in real time with real data.
So to bank on that point, you can actually add information to your session that comes through in history that you can filter by. A lot of people are not using that as well, and we could see that. So if you tap the notes function on this session, you can actually put moving, or you can put use short little phrases, because then they'll pop up that you can just tap them. And in history, you can just pop up, or as you start typing, it's going to narrow down by those phrases. So you can pull back if you put in a phrase that you were moving for that benchmark, or head body, that you can separate and track that separately from other things. So you can actually create your own tags on your sessions to filter history.
Sweet. All right, so the challenge to you guys that just watched all this is go dust off your Mantis X, do your dry fire version of the benchmark, and then go load up 10 rounds, go to the range and do it. Do it once as still as you possibly can, like we did. We're gonna show you the targets here in just a second, but then do it like Chris did as well. So this was my 1-inch square, this was Cara's 1-inch square, this was Natalie's 1-inch square, and then Chris went from the A zone down here to the head box up here. You can see he was moving some stuff around. He wasn't looking for one spot to shoot the entire time. He was just moving around to see if he could stabilize the gun. So your challenge is go do this. See what it does. I know a ton of you have a Mantis unit sitting there. Go dust that thing off, get to work and do some fun, do this and have some fun with us. We'll see you next time.